You are listening to the USDN on the DFPN.
It's a trap!
What is up, everybody? It's the chairman of the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. And tonight we are taking a trip down 1980s New Orleans in a city soaked with secrets, jazz, and supernatural shadows. And our guide tonight is the talented Mr. Christopher Ford. Chris, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to get into talking about the comic.
We're excited to have you on and to have a chat about Dark Pink. Now, tell us what inspired that name, Dark Pink.
Well, it's when I came up with the idea for the project, I was in a comic book shop in 2006. And I saw a cover for Daughters of the Dragon #2, the Marvel comic with Misty Knight and Colleen Wing. And it just hit me when I saw like the cover. I saw her. I had never seen Misty or Colleen. I wasn't really big into, those two characters. And it just something hit me. It's like, I have to do a comic book about a detective with a robotic arm. And so the first thing that came was doing that, and then the second thing was Dark Pink. It just had to be the name because I wanted her to have pink braids. And then I just kind of figure out everything else from there. And so, I thought it's catchy. It kind of describes the way the character looks. It's also a play on her name, Dara Pinkerton. So you got a lot of the letters and everything kind of working together. So I thought it was clever, trying to be.
No, it works, dude. I like it.
So I thought it would be something kind of catchy and something someone would see and at least be somewhat intrigued.
That and the way you advertise this comic, because I swear to God, every time I got on Facebook, Instagram, your advertisement, dude, was so well on point, man. Like it was literally everywhere I looked. I was seeing advertisements for Dark Pink.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I made it a point. I figured, like I said, I basically had this idea in my head since 2006, so nearly 20 years, and finally, figured out how I could actually create it and launch it and all of that. And I figured, I'm going to put in all this blood, sweat, and tears. I want to make sure I push it as best as I can. And basically, well, one of the things I did is I saved the money for years to create the comic book. So I was going to, use the money I saved to pay the artist and everything. And then I decided, pretty late in the process to use that money that I was going to use to create the comic book to market it to create a Kickstarter and market it on Kickstarter. That way I could make the money back, but also already have a built-in fan base instead of just spending all the money and creating the comic book and then not having.
I think you secured a nice little bag, and I think you got a budget set for the rest of the series.
It went pretty well.
Pretty well.
It's just done okay, relatively speaking. I mean, we are like in the top
1%.
Of comic book Kickstarters ever, which like blows my mind, because if you go on my Kickstarter, my goal was just to get like $6,000, and
Yeah.
like,
And I think that's about the average that anybody can really shoot for, is that 6,000. And then like when I clicked it, when I had started following the project, I kept seeing it go up. I'm like, damn.
yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
I am like blown away by how well it's been received. I mean, of course, I think it's a really good idea. I created it and I'm super biased, but to actually
dude, you
see.
earned it, dude. You
Oh,
earned it.
thank you. Yeah. This response, I'm humbled and I really appreciate it, and it just gives me that reassurance that I've created something that people are interested in. I'm on the right path, and just encourages me to keep going. And we're in the home stretch of creating this first one. I already have ideas,
Mhm.
a script for the second one. I got an outline for like 8 issues.
Dude,
So
I'm here for it. I'm here
you
for all
know.
8.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of learning the process, like, actually, of how much time and effort and all the things you have to do to actually like produce a comic book.
Mhm. But
So
this wasn't
now,
your first foray into writing. You also have 3 children's books underneath your belt. So,
yeah, I'm a lifelong writer. I've always enjoyed writing and creating my own worlds. I mean, I'm a huge comic book nerd, so just reading them, watching the X-Men on Saturday mornings back in the '90s.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I always wanted to, create something. It would be like, for me, like, '80s was GI Joe and Transformers,
Oh
and then
yeah.
'90s was like Power Rangers and the X-Men, and I always wanted to, create something that could, fit in those universes, because it's the things that I was interested in, and
Mhm.
you know, uh, like, I always wanted to do a comic book, but I can't draw. So I don't think anybody wanted to see my stick figure story of Dark Pink. Um,
I'm with
so,
you.
so I kind of just sat on it for like a long time, and I decided I knew I could write a book, because there's no art required. So I went into writing like my children's books, like about me and my dad, and trying to put like positive imagery out there for young people. Um, and
Respect that
now,
all day.
yeah, now that things have like kind of progressed, like in 2006, like there was no way for me to even consider like creating a comic book.
Yeah.
But now, with social media, you can actually like reach out to artists. You can promote and get your stuff out there a lot easier, and the stars just kind of aligned finally.
Mhm.
Good work, and got some good traction, like writing my books and everything. And then the time came, and I was able to kind of put this whole thing together, and here we are.
I like it, man. I really do. And the book itself, the comic book itself was like, I've read I think you immediately sent me the PDF version of it, and it was really enjoyable. I like where the story is going, like from the roots in England to New Orleans. Well, I think that they went to where it was England, and then they
To
went
New York.
to New York and then New Orleans.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought that was really cool how it wasn't what I was expecting for a story that was set in New Orleans. So how did you end up in the city of New Orleans for the comic book?
Well, I live in Houston, Texas, and
Okay.
New Orleans is our sister city. My dad is from Louisiana. I've been to
Okay.
New Orleans dozens of times, like in my life.
Guilty.
Um,
Guilty.
it's literally like a 4.5, 5 hour drive and a 45-minute flight from where I live. So it's been a part of me like my entire life. Like, I have
Mhm.
all kind of crazy memories from being on Bourbon Street when I was too young to probably be on Bourbon Street, and seeing all kinds of weird things and stuff
Yep.
10-year-old kid shouldn't be seeing, but
Yep.
um, so like I also know that a lot of comic books are like set in New York or
Mhm.
fictional cities and things like that. And since I wanted to tell a story with like mysticism and monsters and things of that nature,
New
like
Orleans is
really no
perfect for it.
than New Orleans to if you're gonna place.
I think
Um,
there's more haunted tours in New Orleans than there is anywhere else in the United States.
yeah. It's the city is just like steeped in history and lore, and it's a very, very fascinating place. And I think it's just like the perfect place to tell like this kind of story.
No, dude, I like it. I think it's the perfect setting for this type of story. And having been to New Orleans myself more times than I'm willing to admit to, the vibe, even when you're there during the day, it just everything feels unsettling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
It's a very, very unique place. It's like no other place that you can really like that's considered like a quote unquote like touristy place. Like it's got some umph to it. So
that's one way to put it.
yeah.
So you've combined this idea of like the noir of the 80s, this supernatural horror, but you took it a step further and you combined that 1980s New Orleans jazz feel directly into the story where you can listen to the music and read the comic book together. How did you come up with that? Because that is brilliant.
I love music. Growing up in the 80s and the 90s, I would consider the best era for a lot of musical genres. Um,
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
yeah, so like I just wanted to incorporate like the things that I love, the things that I find interesting, the things that I enjoy. Like that's the fun thing of like, being a creative and coming up with something. You can just throw in all the stuff that you like.
Yep.
And I'm a big music person, and like that was one of the early things that I came up with, once I kind of started to piece like the project together was I wanted to figure out a way to incorporate music. Like I knew I wanted to do a Purple Rain cover like
Mhm.
15 years ago. Like I knew
There's
that happened.
something about a Purple Rain tribute cover. I know we were talking before we went live, but it's one of those things where if I'm in the comic book store and I'm just so happen to be flipping through the dollar bin or something, if I see a Purple Rain tribute cover, it's coming home with me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, instant buy. Yeah, it just it's so iconic and it's just cool. It just looks good. You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
Like,
only Prince could take a purple velvet suit and a purple Harley Davidson in the rain and make that shit cool.
yeah, with
If it would
frills.
have been anybody else on that motorcycle, it would have not had been that cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Prince is the man. So it's like my personal favorite musical artist, of all time. It's like him and Sade. And so like I knew I had to put the Sade cover as
Dude,
well.
when I
Like,
seen that one, and I think you included the music in there too.
yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
The
this is my
intro,
dude
yeah,
right here. I'm like,
yeah.
this is my dude.
The intro features like Smooth Operator. That's the name
Yep.
of issue number one is Smooth Operator. And yeah, I just wanted to do something like one that I enjoyed, that I would find interesting. But also, do something that was unique. Like I don't see a lot of music integrated into like comics. Of course, like Marvel and DC, like they can't do it because of
I think
like
I've seen one other, and I don't remember what it was. And I want to say it was actually another Kickstarter. It was called the Cryos, but
okay.
it was 1980s punk.
Hmm.
But the soundtrack was amazing for it too. And it was something about that 80s and 90s, man, whether it was R&B, hip hop, you know, pop or punk, just the music vibed completely different. So Just such a man, it's such a great generation of music.
Yeah, yeah. I think that it's something that is also kind of underrepresented, in popular culture now. It's like
Mhm.
we the now the I guess because we're getting old, but the nostalgia now is like early 2000s,
It
and
still
I'm
blows my mind, dude, every single
yeah,
time.
yeah, and I'm just like, no, we gotta go back to the other stuff. We gotta
Yep,
get to the good stuff, the stuff that inspired the early 2000s.
yep.
So yeah, I mean,
When I hear
I
people say the mid-2000s, I sit there and stare at 'em like, "What the hell are you talking about mid-2000s?" And I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh, it's 2025, I guess that does make sense,
I know.
mid-2000s."
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I was looking at like my copy of Daughters of the Dragon is like 2006 on there. I was like, I've been working on this for 19 years. Yeah, like time flies, but it was such a like the 80s were such an influential time like in pop culture
Mhm.
that you know it's always a good time to go back to that time, when you're
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I still watch, The Goonies and Back to the Future, the Ghostbusters. I'll still watch the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Scooby Doo. I go back and I still watch all that stuff.
yeah, yeah, no, Back to the
I mean,
Future.
action movies to me were like born in that time frame with Rambo and Terminator and
Yeah, yeah, no, um I had a RoboCop homage piece of art made. I'm definitely 100% doing a Back to the Future uh homage cover for one of the future issues. That's 100% happening.
got to.
Terminator, the Terminator 1 movie poster. I want to do something with that. I want to do like the 80s horror movies. I want to do like a Friday the 13th homage and like a Night
Bro,
on Elm Street. Like
here.
it's so
If I had my
creative.
wallet, I would just give you my wallet now.
Yeah, I'm trying to create stuff like I would want to see, and I know other people will want to see. And it's also funny that younger people, they weren't so much exposed to it, but they'll still see it and it'll draw them in because it was all the art and the music and so it was so creative and so well done that all you have to do is show somebody
Yeah,
it, and
if you play a
they'll
Michael Myers theme song, people immediately know what that is.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, all that stuff is, they're called classes for a reason. So
Um, so for those people not familiar with Dark Pink and your main character, Dara Pinkerton, tell everybody who Dara Pinkerton is and kind of give us the background on her character because she's a fantastic character. And then the Fresh Prince thing you did with her, chef's kiss, dude.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was figuring like for like kind of the prequel story of her being younger in her teenage years. Like the first thing I was like, I gotta do remake the Fresh Prince intro. So I'm
That
really
was
glad.
brilliant. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That was as soon as I seen that's where it was going with the story, I was like, is he gonna do it? And then it went to it. I was like, I like it.
Yeah, yeah, I really, just again, like just incorporating the things that influenced me, the things I grew up with, the things that I find interesting, I wanted to just include. And so, like, yeah, Dara Pinkerton, I like to describe her as Misty Knight meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Whitley Gilbert from a different world with a little bit of like Miles Morales kind of
Yep.
wisecrack with a little bit of like Moni Love, the 80s female rapper from the UK.
Okay.
So she's a young woman. She grew up in the UK. Through a mishap that we'll get into in a future issue, she lost her arm, and her father created the cybernetic golden arm for her because he's a tech whiz and a genius. And she's just having kind of a regular teenage life and everything. She has a little issue at her boarding school, and they have to move. Her and her family, they move to America. So she goes to America. She goes to college in America, graduates, and then her parents go to New Orleans on a vacation, and they disappear. And she decides to move to New Orleans to try and find out what happened. Like, she's not a seasoned veteran. She's not an expert detective or anything like that. She's literally the first time we see her in the comic book, in the main version. She's literally on her first case and messing it. So
she's just Dora. Just Dora.
Yeah. She is
definitely green behind the ears, and
just a young person she's just trying to figure out what happened to her parents. And then she gets involved into deeper and more sinister things. That's when the New Orleans lore and monsters and conspiracies and all of that good stuff kind of comes. A bigger thing is at play. But she's, like you said, she's very green. She's not seeing any of that yet. She just was literally trying to figure out this case that she's working on, because she needs to make some money, and also kind of like learn the skills like on the fly, so she can start investigating what happened to her parents. So she's smart, she's brave, but she's also just a person, and she's just trying her best, and she doesn't have all the answers. She's not going to be, out here just, solving things instantly and kicking, all the button, winning all the fights. She's just like, oh, this thing is happening, let me deal with it. And, just doing the best that she can. I think that, I try to create her as a very relatable character.
She is, like, everything about her, like, her story could be your story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want people to be able to connect with her. I didn't want her to be like, like a Superman or a Batman. Someone that you can look up to, because they're they have their stuff together. Like, I wanted her someone you are looking over at, like, oh, I know her. And if I was in that situation, I'd probably do the same thing. And that's one of the keys, like, to her character, is like her relatability, and that she's, like I said, far from an expert. She's just a person just trying to do her best and trying to figure out what's going on.
Now, I like her as a character, dude, and she's probably one of the more unique characters I have come across in my years back in the comic books. And that's why the moment I had seen her and I had read the Kickstarter and all that, that's why I was just like immediately put it in my favorites and just like follow it, and see where we're going with it. And then I was like, oh, damn, let me, back this before I forget, because I do want to get in on this. And thankfully I was able to get in on it. Looking forward to getting my dark pink shirt, because I got to get my Prince Hamad shirt.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
fun.
Yeah. Okay, we got them printed up, like, ready to go. Just waiting, like I said, waiting on the art to be finished. Like, all the it's gonna be a very thorough package. Like, it's gonna be over pages worth of art and story. The main story alone is 54 pages, and then
that's brilliant.
Yeah, I didn't want to like leave it on a cliffhanger. Like, I wanted to tell like a complete like issue story. Like, they'll, it sets up things to be continued, but you'll get a resolution.
Yeah, but so many comic, like, especially in the Kickstarter world, they're gonna it'll take 4 issues to tell the first story. And by going ahead and spending those, that extra money, and 54 pages or 52 pages is a lot of pages for a single issue comic book. Normally we're looking at 28 to 32.
Yeah.
And let's say on average, if you go with a a not well known but decent um artist, we're talking like 70, $80 a page. So you put the commitment in for it, and that's appreciated. I can guarantee that.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons why it's kind of taking so long, because like I didn't want, like, I've been working on it and I had it in my head for such a long time. I wanted it to be like amazing. I wanted it to be incredible, at least blow my own mind.
Yeah.
So like I hired like the best artists that I could get. Like for the covers, we have like people that have done stuff for Marvel and for
Yeah,
DC.
I've seen. It's funny. Some of those artists I have covers of. I have
Yeah,
some of their covers.
yeah. So I mean, we have like Keron Grant did the Purple Rain cover. Robyn Smith did the Sade cover. Khari Evans, who did the cover of that Daughters of the Dragon #2 that I saw that inspired this whole thing. He did the Malcolm X homage cover, and he's doing one of the short stories as well. And for the interior, we have this artist PJ Kaiwa. He's like worked for like DC. He's done like he did the Assassin's Creed comic book for Ubisoft. Super talented guy. He's doing like a great job. He literally sent me a page today with that featured like some of the people that did the tier to be featured in the comic.
Yeah.
And everybody looks great. I'm like, okay, perfect. So it the support has been so overwhelming that it's allowed me to put more into the project.
Yeah.
Because PJ is a little bit more than $80 a page, I wish.
And that was like, if you're starting at like your upper lower to mid lower tier, we're 70, 80s a page. And I know there's some artists who are like, they're not even going to roll over in their bed for that much.
Yeah. A lot of people won't
like they won't even put ink on the page or do your lettering for that much.
Yeah, and hey, like I understand. Like I'm, we're spending money on the project, but the quality is because we're creating like a really high quality project. Like the colorist we have is a guy named Marco Lesko. He just won the Eisner, which is like the Oscars of comic book stuff for coloring for Godzilla, for IDW.
Yep.
And that's his second Eisner. So we have like a 2-time Eisner winning artist, a colorist doing the colors. And the stuff looks great. Again, I'm biased, but I think it's one of the best looking like indie comics that you can find. Like I think it's right on par with Marvel and DC and all that stuff. I really do. I think it looks really good.
I mean, from what I've seen, just from what you have sent me, and I love how colors can be blended and layered and textured to really give you an environment that feels like you can immerse yourself into. And I always say this, those are your make and breaks. The people who do your colors, who do your line work, even the guy who does your lettering can make and break a good comic book.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where money should be spent, that and advertising and marketing the book. And I think you've done all those absolutely brilliantly. So
well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I do. I'm very, very proud of how it looks and the work that PJ and Marco and Khari and Keron and Robyn and Danny Perez, who did the Fresh Prince story.
I still love it.
He did. Danny did the lines, the coloring, and the lettering.
Okay.
For that whole story, like he's one of the few people that can actually do the whole thing, and like I think it came out great. And Khari's working on one of the short stories, and we have Tyler Lanaz who's working for Marvel. He did the other short story.
Okay.
You know, I was able
I know
to
you got that one where the vampire looks like Blade from the comic book.
yeah, Francisco Tomaselli, who's
Yeah.
doing like Hulk right now for Marvel.
I've got quite a few of his covers.
Yeah. He, I was just in the shop, and he did the cover for, you know, he's doing the King Spawn stuff, and I just saw it.
I got a bunch of it. I know.
Yeah, he's super talented.
And he's really, really nice too.
No, he's a very, very nice guy. He actually he saw the ad, and he DM'd me on Instagram. Was like, please let me know if you need something. And he charged a really good rate. And I was like, absolutely. So
yeah. I know I've had conversations with him on Instagram, because like back when I was doing a heavy comic book, and before I transitioned over to like doing these types of interviews, I would just do the weekly comic book drops and that kind of stuff. And it seemed like he was in my stack of comic books like 2 or 3 times. And I was always tagging him in it. He's like, dude, you don't have to always tag me. I'm like, yeah, but I'm putting out there what I'm reading to people. I want to know them to know the talent doing what I'm reading. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you come up 2 and 3 times, and that's a tribute to you, because I know your work now, and anytime I can notice your work, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah. And hey, I give you a little bit of breaking news. I haven't told anybody this before.
Oh, shit. Okay, let's go.
Francisco is actually working on a short story for Dark Pink #2.
Oh, snap. That's what's up.
Yeah. Like,
see, that's where I think a lot of people don't realize is a lot of these guys who do covers and stuff like that are uber talented and are also very good writers as well.
Yeah. He had posted like some interior stuff. He was just like messing around because he's trying to get Marvel to like let him do some interiors and stuff. And I was like, this looks amazing. And after we did the Blade cover, I was like, would you like?
So it was right. It is a Blade cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, dude, it looks just like Blade from the comic book.
Yeah, that story is actually going to be a homage. That short story is like 6 pages. It's going to be a homage to the intro to Blade 1. Like the
dude. Yes.
Stuff. Khari Evans is doing the interiors. He's only got 1 page left. It looks crazy. So
dude, I can't wait to see that, man.
Yeah, Khari's gonna do it. That's kind of like the dream team working on that one, because like Marshall's gonna do the coloring, Francisco did the cover, and Khari's gonna do like the inks. It's gonna be the most action-packed part of the pack, because it's just like 5 pages of Dara fighting vampires with a sword and a gun, doing work. So yeah,
I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to see that.
Like, I'm pumped. You have no idea. Like, I'm pumped. Like, I could get the little hair standing up.
It's gonna be really, really good. Khari's got. I've already seen like the inks and stuff. He's only got 1 more page to go. It looks good. Like, he's doing some crazy stuff. It's such a, as a, Blade fan, having
I still put Blade being responsible for creating what we have now as the MCU.
Oh, absolutely. Like, he might have saved that movie. Might have saved Marvel altogether.
Period. It did. It did. That's been said.
Yeah, it was so like well done and then well received and made a bunch.
And it saved Wesley Snipes' his ass too.
Yeah. It was like, that project needs to be studied, and someone needs to do a documentary just on what Blade did for like everybody involved.
Exactly.
The project. And so that's one of my favorite movies. So I was like, I got to do a Blade thing. So
I will sit down on a Saturday morning and watch Blade 1, 2, and 3 back to back to back.
Yeah, I actually like Blade 3. I know people don't.
People hate it. I don't know why.
I thought it was pretty good. I like Triple H in there. I like Ryan Reynolds in there. I like Jessica Biel in there.
Well, I know
Like,
you're a big WWE guy, so I knew you were gonna like the Triple H part.
yeah. So like
Oh,
I
don't
had,
think I didn't Instagram look at you too, because
yeah,
when I do these things, I like to see, I get into people's stuff and see what
right.
what they're following, what they're doing. I know you got one of the probably nicest shoe collections I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
And I'm not
Yeah.
a shoe guy. Like I've tried before in the past, but I'm one of those guys where the moment I get home, shoes are off. I'm like, I'd rather be barefoot.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah.
I could go out barefooted, I would probably
Uh,
just go out barefooted.
it's a terrible hobby because I barely wear the shoes. Like it's such a weird thing. But yeah, I mean, it's like the things I like comic books. I like sneakers. I like 80s pop culture, anything 90s pop
Mhm.
culture thing, and music and wrestling. And that's kind of just
So are you
me.
WWE or AEW? Which one do you?
I mean, I'm both. I don't mind both. I went to WrestleMania this year, and I went to All In
Okay.
this year.
Well, All
So
In was in Dallas, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, I just wrote. Yeah,
my
me and
boy
my.
was there.
Oh, okay,
He was
yeah,
in the
yeah,
press box. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my boy Black. He did the press on that one for us.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, that was a
Yep.
great show. I mean, it was a long show. Ooh, we were in
It was
there.
like four and a half, 5 hours. I don't know
That was
how it was for the live
5
audience, but
like I think it was like it was like started at 2 or 3, and we got to get it out there to like 9.
yeah.
So yeah, we were going hard, but I enjoy both. They're two different products. So but
Yep.
if you're in the mood for however you want your professional wrestling, you can get them. Just watch either one. But yeah, I
Dude,
like both. So
my week is basically I start Monday with Raw, Tuesday NXT,
mhm.
Wednesday AEW, Thursday's like my catch up day on if in case I miss something. Friday I do SmackDown right afterwards, Collision. So I mean,
Yeah, no, that I have pretty much the same schedule. Like the thing I like about wrestling, being able to, I just write while I'm watching wrestling. So
yeah,
it gives me something to kind of have like on in the background to look at. And they're very so like action based and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out a way. It's hard because it's comic books. But I want to have like Dara like pedigree
dude, that could be
somebody or
done.
RKO somebody or something.
Dude,
But
it could be done.
I just got to figure out how to translate that into an actual like still picture. But yeah,
No,
but it's
that's a that's a page with 3 panels as she runs up from behind somebody, and then the next panel she's grabbing them, and that third panel that's just them eating it.
yeah, yeah. Where she's
That's what's
100.
perfect about comic books, and you can break it down into 3 panels of her RKing somebody out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna be into all kind of wrestling moves, and we're definitely gonna have '80s wrestler references. I'm trying to. Like I had a Macho Man reference in this issue, but I had to cut it because the original script was like 70 pages, and I was like, I can't do for the main thing 70 pages. But yeah, we had a nice Macho Man reference in there. But
You got to
I'm gonna get it.
give her a Macho Man jacket at some point, just randomly. As one day she just pops on a Macho
Yeah,
Man
yeah,
jacket
yeah. With the frills, yeah,
with the
yeah.
frills. Hell yeah,
Take
dude!
glasses, yeah, yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah,
I
that could
have
work.
some sometimes, man. But let's keep it up. So you're doing this classic noir detective thing. How did you kind of make that still feel modern and unique at the same time? Instead of like, it feels like 1980s New Orleans in the comic book, but it still feels very modern at the same time. Because I
Well,
mean, we have Dara, she has a cyborg arm. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to throw like a little bit of alternate timeline, a little
Mhm.
steampunk, a little futurism, just like a little bit, so you can
That
kind of.
arm is unique. Who come up with the arm and the design of the arm?
That was me. Like that was the
Okay.
first. Like I love characters that have robotic arms. Like just the design of those characters always look cool. Like I love
Mhm.
Cable. Um,
Witchblade, man.
yeah, Witchblade. Cable, Bucky,
Yep.
Misty, like a good Iron Man suit can't be beat as far as just like looking cool. So that was one of the first things too that I wanted to have, because I just was like, I always want a cool looking character with a robotic arm. So like I wanted to make it gold so it could stand out a little more, and then just kind of have it look like futuristic, but have it set in the 80s. That way we could kind of play around with like perceptions of like that time. Like she can kind of have, like Dara can kind of have things that don't really exist in that time. But we just talk it up to like her dad invented this or that, and her partner that she's working with in New Orleans, Trey, like he's like a tech whiz, so he can kind of give like earpieces, like shortwave radios, like stuff that you'd be like, hey, why is that there? But you know, hey,
it works. It works, and that's what I love about comic books, man. Because you can take something that shouldn't be where it is, but you can explain it away over here and make it work and make it fit. And there's no other genre where you can really do that outside of TV, and it makes sense.
Right. That's something I was like, oh, I don't really have to worry about like why that's there, because I can easily, I can just explain like, hey, it was invented. You know, this person's really smart, and then they created it, and she's the only person that has it. You know, that type of stuff. And you know, in comic book readers, they get it, they know. So you know, it's not like, you know, you're gonna get a bunch of people like, oh, why does her arm look like it's from 2025 and it's 1985? It's like that. You know, we don't. You know, we all know from reading comic books that
we look at comic books as comic books and for entertainment.
We
know, like it's not supposed to make 100% sense.
Right.
And we don't read it because of that. We read it because we want to be entertained and feel like we're a part of that world.
Right. Yeah. And that's another one of the reasons why, like I said, it in the 80s was to kind of like allow like kind of things to happen in the comic book that if it was set today wouldn't necessarily work. It wouldn't be as mysterious, because if you have like, if someone saw like a vampire like down the street in the middle of the night in 2025, everybody just break out their cell phone and record it. And then it wouldn't be a thing. But in the 80s, people are like, I heard this, you know, I heard this rumor, or you know, this person did this. Like it creates that sense of mystery that helps build tension, and you know, allows us to kind of, you know, have a little bit more fun without someone saying, oh, well, why didn't someone just record it on their camera? Or why didn't someone use their cell phone to call the cops? It's like,
because we didn't have that shit back then.
It's like, let us like, you know, enjoy the mystery and the road of it all.
So I know we're getting vampires. What else are we going to get from a creature monster perspective, either in the first issue or in later issues? Are we going to just stick it to the vampire world?
No, we're gonna take the whole ride down the Universal Monster.
My dude, that's what's up.
Fine, yeah. Like, you know, we're gonna have werewolves, we're gonna have zombies, you know, we're gonna have spirits.
I got something for you after the show that I'm gonna discuss with you, but I don't want to do it on the air. But
okay, yeah, no, my whole goal with the project is, I just want to do like, you know, the Universal movie monsters. Like,
so are you reading the current run of the Universal Monsters from Image and Skybound?
Yeah. I'm taking a lot.
Dude, what's been your favorite so far?
That's a good question,
dude. And they've all been good.
You know, I'm a sucker for a good vampire. You know, I can't.
That Dracula was really good, and then the Mummy, I thought was like spectacular the way they did it.
Yeah.
Like how it was the curse carried through the family, I thought was like amazing.
Yeah, you know what, I when I saw the mummy one, it actually, because the mummy kind of wasn't on my radar for the comic, uh,
Mhm.
for Dark Pink, but yeah, they did it in a way I was like, oh, that's really inventive. Like I said,
That's
family,
because
I want.
I felt the same way, dude. I didn't know how well I was gonna like it, and then once I read that issue one, I was like, damn, I like how they're doing this because
Yeah,
they're linking the mummy to a bloodline and to a curse.
yeah, yeah,
I
and
was like,
that's
I can get with this.
yeah, you can, a good story, someone being creative, thinking out the box, like you can make.
She's brilliant. She's got some. The lady who wrote the Mummy for Skybound and Image is really brilliant, and that took some imagination. And I'm happy
Yeah,
she did it the way she did it because I
yeah,
don't really feel like a regular Mummy story would have worked for
right.
what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's why I was like a little wary, of it. As much as
Yep.
I love like the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser, they're amazing and no one can tell me anything different.
But also, that was a curse that was still linked to the bloodline to some degree with
Right.
his wife.
Right.
So,
But yeah, they took it to another level, like in the comic in a very inventive way. And I just love
yep.
seeing like creative people being super creative, like because like no idea is really original with but you can tweak things, you can put your own twist on it, you can think outside the box on something that's been stuck inside of a box for such a long time and
Yep.
really create something that people can get behind. And I love, that's what I love about like writing and being
So,
creative.
staying along the lines of Universal Monsters, do you read anything from Dark Horse?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Did you
a
read Los Monstros?
no, I didn't read that though.
So Los Monstros is about a werewolf private eye.
Okay.
And his first mission that takes place during the first 5 issues of the comic book is him finding a vampire princess. Because the entire world is like monsters. Like Los
Mhm.
Monstros is a monster city
Okay,
run
okay,
by monsters. Everybody's a monster.
okay.
It was such a dope read. I think it's out right now in trade paperback if you can find it. But I think it would be like one of those where, like with what you're doing with your story, you could pick it up and go, "Oh, this is legit." Because it's kind of in that same world of Dark Pink. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I think you would really enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. No, no. That's I like the Monster City idea because I'm trying to like kind of create something like here with Dark Pink where there are, this is, we're gonna run through like different monsters. Like there are, there's normal people and everything else, but another one of the reasons why I said it in New Orleans is because if someone did tell you in New Orleans, like, hey, I think I saw a werewolf over there, it wouldn't be like the craziest thing that you
No, they
ever
just seen a
heard.
person on Bourbon Street doing something completely the same.
Exactly. So, I want it to be, kind of a mix of reality, but also fantasy, like dark fantasy, and having a world where, people are like open to the idea of like monsters actually existing and like what that would mean to be stuck in a place where you know werewolves exist and zombies might
Mhm.
pop up, but no one's like, the police aren't like super excited about like going to help you out
Yeah.
about it. And then you have like a young woman who kind of doesn't know any better and just takes the cases that are kind of given to her. And,
Mhm.
she's just like, oh, well, this sounds weird, but I'll go check it out. And then gets caught into the stuff. And then she reacts like how you and I would react in the situation and just trying to
Yeah.
get out of it and while solving the case.
No, dude, I like it. I really do. It's such a unique concept from start to finish, and I can't wait to see what's coming next for it. But so you have like this touch of fear, you have some mystery, you have Dara really coming up now. She's trying to find her parents. She's really trying to discover who she herself is and find her identity. So, what kind of messages or emotions do you hope readers will kind of take away from Dara's story and like the whole story in general?
Um, that is a good question. As cheesy as it might sound, I want.
There's no such thing as a cheesy. answer when it comes to this?
I want people to feel like hope. Like I want people to like see Dara, like see like the good that she does, but also like the struggles that she has, and feel like hopeful because she's a hopeful person. Like
Mhm.
she going there to find her parents. She truly believes like in her heart that she can find them. She can figure out what can happen, like what happened to them. And even though she has no idea how she's going to do it. She's literally learning on the fly. But, I want people to go on that ride with her, to see her succeed, to see her fail, to see her like keep going, to see her scared, to see her like unsure, like at
Mhm.
certain points. Like there's literally there's gonna be a scene in the first issue where she does something, she makes a decision and she knows it's a bad decision, but it's she's like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just
Mhm.
gonna try this. Trey is like, I don't think this is a good idea,
Yeah.
and she's like, I know, but I don't have a better idea, because this is like her second case. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's just
Yeah.
like, I think this may work, or maybe it won't, and we're just gonna do that, and it's gonna be a lot of that, like a lot of trial and error for her. Like I didn't want her, like I said, I didn't want her to be like Misty, as far as like, in the comics, Misty like knows exactly what she's doing. She's a
Mhm.
bad woman, and she knows how to get things done. Like I
Yeah.
wanted Dara to not to be basically the complete opposite of that.
I
And
mean, we think about it. She's a 24-year-old kid, fresh out of college, and really, she's not had a chance to really start living a life
yeah.
before her parents disappear, and she packs up everything and just, I'm going to go find my parents and figure it out, as I go along.
Yeah, yeah, she literally was like, grew up,
And
affluent,
she was
and
kind of privileged.
yeah, yeah, she went to like a really nice boarding school. When she went to New York, she went to a really nice
She
college.
was
So
Clarence from 8 Mile
yeah, yeah,
with,
yeah, she was
with
living a
pink
very pretty
braids.
life, and then then she goes into like the darker side of things, and but she still has that like a little bit of naivete, but she has a good heart, and her intentions, like she genuinely wants to do the right thing, even though it's most of the time, half the time, she's not sure what the right thing is to do. She's just gonna just try. And I think that people will be able to relate to her, and I
Mhm.
think will feel like, I want people to cheer for her, because I think she's like a
She's
really.
definitely one of those characters, especially because I mean, right now we don't know how she lost her arm, but we know it's there. We know she has it. We know her dad wants her to keep it a secret, and so we know she has this. I don't want to say it's a disability because it's not in her case, but she's not this, you know, normal, perfect child. She's kind of broken, but we want to cheer for that person. You
Yeah.
find yourself wanting to cheer for that person.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of this first issue, like in the prequel that you read, yeah, her parents tell her like, hey, do not show
Mhm.
people this. So she literally like walks around like with long sleeves and gloves on like all the time. And even in the first issue, in the main issue in the story, like she covers her arm for a lot of it, because she's still like living like what her parents told her to do, and
Yeah.
she's not sure like how people will react to it, or if people will accept her like for having a golden robotic arm randomly. And
Yeah.
so she's just trying to like kind of fit in, even though she's meant for more, but she's young, she doesn't know that quite yet.
She
She's just
she's
like.
she hasn't come into that part of herself yet.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, this is the whole story, is to kind of carry us to that point. Like eventually I want her to be a lot like Misty Knight, like
Yeah.
my long-term goal would be like, start in the 80s with her in her 20s, and then get into like the 90s with her in her 30s, and
Mhm.
you really see that evolution of her to being like a legit hero, instead of
Yeah.
just a person, like a private detective trying to figure some stuff out.
Nah, dude, I like that, man. I like that so much. So New Orleans has this powerful connection to both folklore and monsters and ghosts and goblins, but also faith. Did you pull from like legends or local myths from the area? Because I mean, you can't walk around New Orleans without somebody handing you a pamphlet for a ghost tour or a haunted mansion or something like that. How much of that kind of stuff, and I know you've spent some time in New Orleans as well, how much of that kind of like real life stuff did you kind of pull into this book?
A lot.
Yeah.
There will be a scene in a very famous New Orleans cemetery in issue number 1.
The floating graves.
Yeah, with named and everything. I don't want to, spoil it, but there's one
Yeah,
of
keep it real.
famous ones. Like there will be a scene at that cemetery.
Okay.
The first, the second case, the person that comes and like gives her the new case is a very religious person, and it's like, like she thinks that her sister, who she hires Dara to find, was abducted by the devil, like the devil himself.
Yeah.
So she is a woman of faith, and they have like their talk, and talk about that a little bit. There's a lot of multiple references to New Orleans being a place where weird mystical things happen. People will make comments on, hey, we're in New Orleans, like this is either not strange at all, or where have you been?
There's literally a guy dressed as the devil on one of the corners of Bourbon Street every time you go there.
Yeah. So
And I think it's been the same guy since I was a kid going there.
Probably, honestly. So all of that, like the faith, the lore, the superstition, the voodoo. We have a character, Lady Laveau. She's like based on a real.
You gotta have a voodoo priestess in there.
Yeah, like she's a real person who like is a New Orleans native who people like literally thought was a witch. And people aren't sure if she's like dead, and she should.
Yeah.
So, like she's a character that's going to be introduced, and she's going to kind of help guide Dara through those mystical elements of New Orleans, like in future issues. So, yeah, I mean, New Orleans is a character, like in the story. Like you will read Dark Pink, and you will know that this is happening in New Orleans, and this is an important aspect of the story. Like I said, I wanted to be set there. I love
that, dude.
Yeah, that's why I wanted it to be set there, because I think, like I said, such an interesting city, has so much stuff going on, that
so much history. Like, I mean, it's like when you walk down the cobblestones downtown there, I mean, it's hard to describe, like, unless you've actually walked the streets down there and got some beignets, of course. Yeah. I mean, you can't go there without getting beignets. But just walking around, like we took our daughter there. Admittedly, she's probably too young, but we went during the day. I do want to put that out there. It was during the day. She brought her flute with her because she wanted to play street music with the jazz artists down there. And we found this one little place that had a piano sitting outside of it. And there was nobody that said you couldn't play. So my daughter sat down and started playing piano as well. And the guy stuck his head out of the bar and was like, how old is she? Or I think at the time she was 10, 12. And I'm like, oh, she's 10, 11, 12. They were like, oh, damn. Did she play like that? I'm like, well, yeah, she's been doing it since she was 5. So we're like, I see she's holding the flute. Does she play flute too? We're like, yeah, she plays that too. They're like, okay. Anything else? We're like, yeah, oboe. And the guy was like, hang on, he goes in, he comes out with his guitar, and they sit there and played music together. And that's the whole reason we went to New Orleans, was for her to have that one little experience to play music on the street, in New Orleans. And we accomplished that. So
no, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Like one of Doris
See,
Home
this is my
Bases.
guy right here. That's the guy, the comment on the screen right now. That's Mac, aka
Okay.
your boy. He was the one that was kind of like, "Hey, you think you can get him on?" I'm like, "He's been on my radar. You've been on my radar for a while, so let me reach out."
Well, yeah, man. I appreciate you suggesting this. Like had a great time. Yeah, and I was gonna say, yeah, one of Doris Home Bases, like she'll have her detective office,
Mhm.
um, but another place she'll spend a lot of time at is a jazz club,
Oh, I love it, dude.
and yeah, and she's gonna befriend the bartender, and he'll be kind of like helping her like get word on the street and stuff like that. So yeah, the music and the mystical side of New Orleans is gonna be like on full display.
It's it's such a draw, dude. Like I said, it's really hard to explain unless you've been there and you've walked. Like I love jazz. I love live jazz, and to watch my daughter play it. Granted, there was only probably about 10 people walking through the street, but they seen a little girl playing the piano, so naturally they're like, "Oh, what's
Yeah,
this little girl playing a piano?" And then he's like, "Can you play anything like that on your flute?" And she's like, she's like, "Let me try." And she held her own. So it was really cool to watch her attempt to do that. And it kind of was like a little check mark for her. So
yeah.
I was happy to
So core memory.
have her do that. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more. I know the Kickstarter has ended,
No,
but
no,
people can.
we're taking late
Are you
pledges.
you still okay?
Yeah,
Okay, because
yeah,
I think even I got in on it like after it had technically ended, but people can still. And I want to really hit this home. Just because a Kickstarter has ended does not mean you can't still pledge to the Kickstarter.
yeah, yeah. A lot of you can
It's
enable like
misconceptions, I
pledges,
think.
but people don't do it, which is weird to me. You might as well like keep it going. Like this basically pre-orders. So yeah, it's still up. You just go to Kickstarter. And type in dark pink comics and it'll be the only thing that shows up. And
Yep.
yeah, it's like a full breakdown, like the story and the characters, and got a couple of pages from the comic in there, like a bunch of the additional art.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's just something that is like been a very uh, passion project of mine, something near and dear to my heart, and I put a lot of effort and time into it. And I think it shows in the project.
It
Um,
does. You when
and
you land on a Kickstarter's homepage and you can tell like the amount of passion and the amount of work and the amount of thought that's gone into it just simply from that first page when you the loading page, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, yeah. I put a lot of time. I try to flex my little writing muscles to try to create like a nice little narrative and like explain everything because yeah, like it's something that is important to me, and I want to give a good impression of the project because I do think that it's a really good project that if people check out like they'll like like has a little bit of everything, some
It
mystery,
does.
some music. I think we got a few jokes in there. Like Dara will crack a joke, to kind of diffuse, more tense situations. So we got a few Easter eggs, homages to all kinds of stuff from the '80s. Like for anybody
That,
that's a big
dude, that was like my favorite one of my favorite things when I was going through, and then when you sent me like the prequel, it's just the references to like the 80s and early 90s, and I was just like this thing speaks to me so much.
yeah. No, like I said, I just
It's
wanted
like
to put
it was like a song to our generation, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? It was that
yeah,
perfect love
yeah.
song for us.
Yeah, I think anybody can enjoy it, but there is a deeper level of enjoyment for people that grew up in that era or
Mhm.
are fans of just stuff in the era. You know what I'm
So
saying?
I know we talked about it briefly with you being in the top 1% of Kickstarter basically all time, which is like absolutely insane to think
Yeah,
about. were you surprised by the scale of the support that you received? Because I mean, you think about it, a typical Kickstarter runs about 30 days. 28 to 32 days, I think, is what the average is on those. So were you surprised with how fast that thing went like that?
Yeah, I was shocked. Like I was hoping, like I put in a lot of time before, like I pre-planned it. Like I've been working on the project for about 9 months before I actually launched it on Kickstarter, like prepping everything. Like I wanted it to go as well as possible, but you never know. So like I was just hoping, to get enough money to make it. Like that was
Yeah.
literally,
I think
yeah,
I think you set your goal and you want your goal. And I
yeah,
think if for some reason if it goes over that goal, then hey, cool. I now have equity I can use for other stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It just so well, it allowed me to hire, the like Francisco. Like I could hire him because we did so well. I could hire the Marco to do the coloring because I made enough money. Like I could afford his rate, and I could
Mhm.
these extra side stories and also like it's proof of concept that I can do a Dark Pink #2
Yeah.
because create enough interest. But yeah, I mean, I was like hopeful, but like I said, you never know.
Yeah.
But super appreciative. I'm so glad. Like for example, like we had a tier where you could become like a recurring character,
Mhm.
and I remember like I was like, okay, I know personally 3 people that will do this, like my friends, like and my brother.
Yeah.
Like 3 people. If I can get 3 other people to do it, that'd be awesome. Be super amazing.
And that covers almost half the initial fee of the book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would just be a nice huge chunk. But
Because I know that type of tier is usually between 800 and 1,200 bucks, depending on, you know,
yeah,
what
yeah,
kind of
yeah. If I would have
stars.
got if I would have got 6 people, I would have made $1,200. That would have been like literally like a third, like almost a
Yeah,
third of what I'm trying to raise. But we ended up getting almost 30 people.
that's insane, dude.
Yeah, I was like,
Insane.
I
And that
literally
proof
had to,
that made your proof of concept cemented in stone that this was
yeah.
absolutely going to work.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, these people, like, this is like a new IP that, like completely random out of the blue. People, 30 people want to be in this comic book. And then we had a cameo thing and another like 40 people like agreed to do that. I literally, one of the reasons why I had to do the additional short stories was because I needed places to put
To put the
everybody.
characters, yeah.
Yeah, because I was
Dude,
like,
that
well,
is
if I get these 6 people, I have it in the script, like it'll be fine. And I had to just kind of really expand my thoughts because people are so excited about it, which makes me even more excited and like drives me to do it. That much, make the project that much better,
yeah.
and deliver something that people will like. And I think people will. Like I said, it's 80 pages. It'll be a nice deep read, like the
Mhm.
main story, 54 pages, and then you get 3 side stories. I have a
That's
series of
is
like
insane,
5.
dude.
Yeah, I have 5 like Saturday morning PSAs, like like the GI
Yeah.
Joe.
Dude, I
Like
seen I seen the one on the Kickstarter main page. Or it was in the prequel.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, I was like, this is so cool. I used to love those little GI Joe PSAs.
Yeah, me too. Like growing up, like
Criminally underrated.
so yeah, I have 4 more of those. It's like, we got one about like adopting pets. We got one about not blowing up your college lab during science projects.
I do like the adopted pets. I got 3
Yeah.
adopted cats.
Yeah, no,
So
like I have like my pets and a couple of my pets that have passed away. I got to put them in
mhm.
there as well. I got one. She goes to a Comic-Con and she dresses up as Misty Knight, like her
Oh, that's
idol.
dope. Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully it's
so
about for people putting on deodorant when they go to Comic Cons.
yeah, it actually is kind of in that vein. I'm not even, so yeah, it's a lot of content. Like
Yeah.
people, like I know it's taking a long time, but
Give it's one of those things where this is your passion project. It's already been cemented by the being in the top 1% of Kickstarter. So I think you've earned that amongst the following for the book to let it play itself out and take the time needed to put out what people are expecting of the project.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think you might have one or two who are like, oh, this book is taking 6 or 7 more months. You're going to have one or two of those people. But I think for the most part, those who understand the process itself know. And they can tell by what you're not hiding anything. You've literally posted 3 updates or something like that in the last 3 days. Or
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
updates,
I
maybe. I
try
mean,
to.
you stay on top of everything the way it should be done. So, I
Yeah.
mean, but
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
there's
Like
always
I
going to
try
be
to
one or
put.
two.
Yeah, I try to post the arts that you see, like stuff is being created. Like it's not just like in the ether somewhere. It's something. Yeah, like people have been very understanding. Like I probably give maybe one person a week that'll be like, "Hey, where's the ad?" But it'll literally be because
Yeah.
they didn't like check their email or like look
Yeah.
at the updates, and then I just tell them. Then they're like, "Oh, okay, well, cool."
Yeah. I mean, and that's what's really cool, I think, about if you're not just doing this to try to rush something through the process and you're being open, upfront, and honest, then Kickstarter, I think, is probably one of the greatest things to happen to the comic book industry.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Like this would not have been able. I wouldn't have been able to do it without Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Even though I planned to do it, that plan would not have gone as well as doing it the way that I
Mhm.
ended up doing it.
So I have interview coming up. I can't remember if it's the one on Sunday or Monday off the top of my head because I like October's to be a busy month because everything I've tried to do this month revolves around Halloween
Mhm.
and giving you that feel. I don't know if it's my headset or something. I keep getting a pop. But his comic book will also take place in the swamps of New Orleans. And again, it's going to be Kickstarter will be the make or break of whether or not the comic book actually gets made.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say like don't go into a Kickstarter without having a finished product. But a lot of times a lot of projects won't get made. And a lot of good projects won't get made without Kickstarter being there to fund it.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like it's a difficult balancing act. Like because when I started the Kickstarter, I didn't have any interior art. I didn't even have PJ hired yet because
Yeah.
I got someone else that was gonna do it, but that he couldn't do it. So all I had was like the covers. Because I was like, I gotta have something, of course, to show the people. So I had the covers and I had the story. Everything was that part and stuff was done, so I could
Yeah.
express what it would look like.
And that goes back to
But
your writing and being able to portray your thoughts and your words in a way to make people buy into it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
testament to your writing. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
thank you. I did. I tried, man. I worked a lot on that Kickstarter page. I think it looks. I think it looks like I put a lot of work in, but I really put a lot of work in.
And this is what I like about it though. You don't necessarily have to launch your Kickstarter right away for you to work on the page.
Yeah,
You can literally start building the Kickstarter from the ground up, your Kickstarter landing page for your project without launching it.
yeah,
And I don't think enough people really realize that you can do that.
yeah. No, mine was set up like months before it actually launched. I had all the
Mhm.
stuff that I saw like was on the back end. Like I was just like getting stuff ready, and I tweak it and I change it even to this day. Like I'll like throw in a new page that has been completed.
Yeah, I
Um,
seen the one today and I was just like, dude, come on, man. I like that though. I love getting those like once or twice a week where a page gets done and you toss it up and you're like, "Dang." I'm like, all right. I'm like, keep it going. I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
it's just that right amount. Like it
Yeah,
keeps
I
that
would love.
excitement going for it because you know it's gonna come, and when it comes, it's gonna be freaking amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna start dropping more of the short story stuff, because the one that
Mm,
Tyler Lanaz did is done, is colored, is lettered.
yeah,
It's all good. It's kind of hard on that one because that one basically will tell the story from the main antagonist of this issue, the vampire. It'll tell the story
yeah.
from. It'll tell the story of issue one from his perspective, like him
Oh,
seeing.
okay, dope. Yeah,
So like half of the story is like spoilers.
yeah.
Um,
And you know
but
what?
like
You bring that up. That's one of those things where you don't see a lot of, where the protagonist is how the story is being told from their perspective.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
not something you see a lot of.
yeah. Again, because it was so successful, I was able to be able to expand, like, my storytelling, because I want him, like, even though, like we discussed earlier, we'll be going through kind of like the different monsters and stuff, but he will still be a constant, like,
Okay.
throughout the story. He's like one of the main characters, even though he's a villain. But he won't be
And
in every
every story has to have a character like that, that reoccurring,
yeah,
you know, it doesn't have to be a villain, but it's just you gotta have a constant there. Whether
yeah,
they're a good guy or a bad guy, it's just something that kind of opposes your main character.
yeah. Their relationship will get complicated and evolve, and like oh, man, I wish I could say it, but
No, 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 don't do
in his
that.
story, it'll be kind of explained, like, his kind of fascination with her, and
Okay.
that he might know a bit more about
See,
her
now we're getting to that
than
Buffy
she.
territory.
Yeah, well, hey, you can't go. Buffy was another a huge influence. Like,
You know what? I'm looking forward to the new Buffy series as well.
yeah, me too, me too. I'm not one of those people. Like, I love the original was a classic,
Dude,
but I mean, it was based on a comic book, so it's not like we don't have
dude,
Buffy, like different kind
the
of Buffy.
comic book kept going. Where the TV series stopped, the comic
Yeah,
book picked it up.
yeah,
And it was a fantastic run. I don't care what anybody says,
yeah. No,
because it
I agree.
maintained the same writer from the
Yeah,
TV series to the
yeah,
comic book.
yeah,
What was his name? Mac? Something Mac.
yeah. I forget, but
I
yeah, it
can,
was
but the comic book was
very
fantastic. And the what was her name? The Vampire Slayer. What was her name in the series?
the actress.
Yeah, not the actress. I know that was Sarah Michelle Gellar in the TV series, but her character name,
Oh,
Buffy. But she had another name besides
yeah.
Buffy.
Oh, yeah. What was her name? Because I don't even think about it anymore. I
But
just
there's a story of, and it's really cool because where this new TV series is going to pick up is Buffy is the new person to bring up the next Vampire Slayer.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the last comic book run was basically the middle-aged Buffy in the
yeah,
wind down of her career, getting ready
yeah.
to
Teaching
bring
the
in the
young,
new.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm
yeah,
like, dude, I'm so excited for this TV series to pick up that comic book, bring it to real life, and then the actress they got to play the younger Buffy coming up from Wednesday, the werewolf.
yeah,
I was like, dude,
yeah,
she was perfect for that role.
yeah. Now Wednesday is also a really good show. So
It really is. It really is. And
yeah,
Jenna Ortega as Wednesday has absolutely bodied that role.
yeah. No, no,
Nothing
perfect.
against Christina Ricci. I love her version of Wednesday, but this
Yeah,
more serious Wednesday that we get with Jenna, and
yeah. She gets to sink her teeth into the character a lot.
she
So
does, she does, and she's
and
not like held to what the movie was.
right.
She's gotten, now 2 seasons to develop this character and her how she wants to bring her to the screen, which I think is
Yeah,
really cool. And it's a
yeah,
Burton. He's basically he's like, here's your character, do it.
yeah.
Figure it out how you want to do it. Bring your own intricacies to the character and roll with it.
Yeah. She's done a great job. It's a great, the whole cast. Like, it's just a good show. That's a really good show.
Dude, the casting perfection to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Like, I was like, they couldn't have done better.
No, I agree. So yeah, I was been late on season 2, but I
I
just
was a little
watched.
late to it, getting to it as well. I just finished it
Um,
like a week or two ago.
yeah, I have like one or two more episodes
Yeah.
of to I have to probably watch them this weekend. To be honest with you, so get it knocked out. But yeah, it's a like I watched the first season, loved it. And then I've been so busy working on this comic book. I just gotta stop watching. The only thing I would watch would be wrestling because I don't have to pay attention while I was working. So
Dude, I literally do 90% of the stuff I do, which is pulling all my jumbled questions and things I want to explore with people coming on the podcast and like annotating it down. And then at the end of the day, I have to take all my brain jumble, put it into Chat GPT and tell Chat GPT to organize my thoughts into something that
yeah,
makes sense.
right.
And that's what I get, you know?
Right. I know. The ADD is real for me. So like I just kind of work through it and do the best I can.
It's weird how that comes out as we get older. And now that we know what it is, we can go, oh, that makes sense for me. Yeah. Because back in the day, it's just because you didn't get your ass whipped enough.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, yeah, that was one of the downfalls from the 80s and 90s, like lack of understanding of that. But the 80s and 90s were amazing. That's why we, doing the story set in that time, and it's gonna be something.
So I gotta
really dig.
What's coming next, man? This one's been so successful. When can everybody expect you to start flirting with issue number 2 for us? Because I haven't even got issue 1 and I'm ready for number 2.
Well, issue 1 will come out this year, like next month, November or December. We're like PJ is like winding down like the main art. That's literally all we have left is the few page, well, not a few pages, but like the third act of the main story. So it needs to be drawn.
You got to bring it home.
Letter.
Third act is bringing it home.
Yeah, and then we'll get it printed up and shipped out. So that's definitely 100% this year. And then like I already have the intro for number 2 like written because each issue is going to have a musical intro.
Okay.
Like the first issue has like kind of like the setup, and it's set to some Sade. And then this the second one we'll have a similar like 3-page setup kind of showing like the case will be set to some music. You
already know what the music is?
Yes, I do know what it is.
Okay.
I don't want to give it up yet, but
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Have the cover in mind, and the main cover will be what that is. But it's another.
Are we still staying with the 80s R&B with it?
Yes, it will be maybe considered the greatest 80s R&B album of all time. Might be the cover.
Ooh. That's debatable on so many fronts.
It is, but
there's enough hints there where people can start making their guesses.
The one that might lend itself to something about monsters. So go and look at those, and you might be able to figure it out. So
go get your vinyl out the shed and
and just start dusting them off and start getting yourself ready. So have that done. Like I told you earlier, Francisco's working on one of the short stories that'll be part of that. So probably might launch a Kickstarter like in the spring. Because I'll be ready to rock.
I mean, I'm personally following you now on Kickstarter, so I know when you'll launch. So I'm immediately going to get my email saying, Chris Ford dropped a new Kickstarter.
Yeah, we're gonna have it ready. Have a lot of good stuff. Have some really good ideas for some fun tier rewards, very 80s themed stuff. That to go along with it. And so spring.
As long as you don't bring out the full windbreaker track suits.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I think those are okay.
The ones I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the swishy ones.
Yeah. The ones that look wrinkled.
All the time, no matter what you did to them.
No, you can't be age special. You can't. Even the bad stuff is good. So
That's true, because I remember I had about 5 of those that I could rock one a day if I wanted to.
Yeah, me too. So, and I live in Texas. It's hot all the time, and I still was doing it. So, yeah, we will ship this year. Number 1, number 2 in the spring. I have my goal is actually to release 2 and 3 next year.
Okay. I mean, you're picking up a lot of good experience in working this one. So, I mean, I know my friend Bruno out in the UK. I think he right now, I feel like he's on his 3rd or 4th Kickstarter for just this year alone.
Yeah. Once you kind of get an idea of how to structure it, I think you can run it pretty smoothly. Like I said,
it's like
one of my biggest
the way he plans is one ends, the next one begins like a week or 2 later. He does fulfillment out the door, next one starts.
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself like a month or something just to kind of decompress. But we're going to be working on art literally every day from here on out. Like as soon as one ends, like I'm gonna contact PJ to start working on 2. Like I said, Francisco is already working on his part for 2.
That's awesome, dude. He's, like I said, that dude is so good.
His
criminally underrated.
His style is very unique.
He's got that old school, like 70s and 80s, like horror film. No matter what he draws, it feels like there's a horror feel to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just like it looks like a vintage, either like a foreign film or a horror film from the 70s.
I know, and that's why I love his work. I followed him for a year, 2 years now. And
I literally just talked to him yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna send the layouts for the story by the end of the week." So and I'm hoping we can expand things. Like I would like to do like a prequel like story, like a series, maybe like a 3 series, 3 series of like Dara in England in the boarding school, like her like little adventures that we talk about. Gets her kicked out. But I want to talk about other things that she was doing over there,
like how she lost her arm, and
I
think that would be kind of cool.
Stuff, like a limited series for that. I would also like to do something with Francisco, actually, with Dara's parents.
That should be a full up. I don't know what the plan is with her parents, but if you're gonna do Francesco, it's got to be like a full horror issue. Where it's I'm
talking about like maybe a series.
Okay.
Because once we kind of get deeper into like what's going on with why her parents disappeared, like it's a little more than meets the eye. It's not simply it wasn't by happenstance. I'll put it that way.
I was kind of in the back of my head was thinking that. But I didn't want to bring that to the forefront because I didn't want you to give anything away that you didn't want to give away yet. But I'm glad that my thought is what your thought is when it comes to her parents. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I figured people would think that. So,
people would probably put 2 together, but
because it's the driving force for this series. So it's not something that we will just like gloss over. It's a very important thing. It's literally the reason why she's there. So it can't, I didn't want it to just be a simple like, oh, they just disappeared randomly. Like there's there's got to be a deeper meaning there. So I would love to for like a series like set in like the 60s or 70s with his art style would be like
beautiful.
Like set in the UK, it could be like a very like, I don't want to say like Austin Powers, but like a James Bond, Austin Powers, like 60s, 70s UK, throw in some, like the burgeoning like UK punk rock scene in the 70s.
Dude, it was literally born in the UK in the late 60s into the 70s.
Because like everything is going to be revolved around music. Music is a very important part of the
I like it, dude. No, that's That
So
works
yeah,
for me, dude.
you never know. Like Francisco is very cool to work with. I think he would be down with it. So
Yeah.
something we kind of discussed is something that like once I kind of get the ball rolling with things, like I would really love to expand like the universe.
Mhm.
So like 2025 is just kind of we're setting the table. And
Yeah.
then next year we're gonna have at least 2 projects, maybe 3, maybe 4.
Mhm.
I just want to continue because I have the ideas. I just have to, now that I know how to execute them now
Yeah.
from this, I can just continue on with them.
Dude, you literally just answered the last of my questions in the last 15 minutes of what I was going to talk to you about. We talked about it in the natural flow of things. But before we sign off for the night, let everybody know where they can find you, where they can find your Kickstarter, and what else you're kind of offering with your Kickstarter right now that they can still get in on, by the way.
Is on Kickstarter. Just type in the search bar Dark Pink Comics. It'll come up. You see a young lady with pink braids and an Adidas tracksuit straight from 1987, looking you right in your face, and you'll know that you're in the right place. We have like really great like rewards and stuff. We have like this T-shirt that you can
Hey,
get.
I got mine.
We have a second design T-shirt as well. We got autographed copies. We have art prints. We have, you can have a Zoom meeting with me if you want to learn like
There you
how I
go.
make all this money somehow. All kind of really just cool stuff. And of course, we have the comic book, and you can find the comic book. We're actually working on the site, the official website. It'll launch like maybe next week.
Okay.
Kind of putting the final touches on it. That'll be darkpinkcomics.com. But you can find us online on social media. We're on Instagram at Dark Pink Comics, on Facebook at Dark Pink Comics, on X and Twitter at Dark Pink Comics. But we don't really do stuff over there. But just message me and then I'll go over there and talk to you if you want.
Yeah.
So, and you can find me at Talented Mr. Ford, MR for the Mr. Ford on Instagram.
See,
and
I've been dropping hints of what your Instagram was since we came
I
on
know. I
air.
saw that. I thought you were just going straight up say. I was like, okay.
Nah, man, I plant the seeds and then I let you hit it home.
This is working like a well-oiled machine already. So, at Talented Mr. Ford on Instagram and Twitter, X, whatever, and on Facebook as well. But yeah, the page is run by me. So if you message Dark Pink Comics on Instagram, you'll literally be talking to me.
I know, I did that.
Yeah.
That's how I got him here.
Yeah, so so
and it was cool too because I didn't know, because like I said, you were the first person I have ever like really messaged to see if they wanted to come on the podcast. And when you were like, yeah, sure, I was like, I wanted to be like, wait, you for real?
Yeah, no. Why would I not? I love to talk about the project.
Dude, I love to talk about this kind of stuff, man. You have no idea.
Yeah, I love to talk to people who are passionate about the same stuff that I'm passionate about.
And that's really what's led to where I'm at right now, is that kind of stuff. Is like, I was like, because Bruno, who got me, he was the very first person to contact me to go, hey, can I come on your podcast and talk about my comic book? I was like, hell yes, dude. And then it just became this thing now that I'm like, if I can give these guys a home to come and talk about their comic book and share their passion with everybody the way I like to talk about their passion, I'm like, I want to do that. And that's where I've been going with my podcast ever since, because that to me is a lot of fun. I get to talk to people like you who enjoy putting comic books out there for people with new and unique characters. And to me, this may be my direction going forward, period. It's just this kind of stuff.
Now this was great, like really talking to people that are doing Kickstarter. Like no one's mentioned my Kickstarter to me, like to talk to me about it, which is, so I was like, wow, like I really appreciate the opportunity. And helping people, like Kickstarter's there to help people like achieve their goals, their creative goals and dreams, but they don't really promote it. Like, you know,
I promote top to bottom, dude. I don't know if you've noticed that yet, but
no, I had to do it myself. Like I was on the front page. You'll be on the front page your first day, and then you'll disappear into the ether.
Mhm.
So you have to do it yourself, and like have people like you that know like the Kickstarter grind and you know what it is to help get the word out there.
Whenever somebody contacts me about coming on the podcast, I immediately, I don't just say yes right away. I take 5, 10, 15 minutes and I actually look up the individual. Okay, I'm sure he'll be right back. He said he was having some internet connection issues, so we'll give him a couple of seconds to see if he pops back in. In the meantime, head over to Kickstarter right now. Go to the search bar, type in Dark Pink. It will be the very first comic book that comes up. Make sure you give himself a follow. That way, when future issues do come out, you'll get a notification saying that he has launched his next Kickstarter for the next issue of the comic book. Also, his Instagram was at Talented Mr. Ford on Instagram. Hey, bro, I can't thank you enough for reminding me that he has been on my radar for the longest time, and me being able to get in, purchase the comic book, give him some support, and get him back on the podcast. There he is.
Hey, sorry.
I was just telling everybody you were having some internet problems before we launched, and I know Max said he's going over to Kickstarter now to do his thing. We were closing it up. I was telling everybody they can go over to Kickstarter, search Dark Pink. It's going to be the very first thing that comes up. Your Instagram is Talented Mr. Ford. Make sure you give him a follow. When you go over to Instagram, search Dark Pink Comics. He's going to be the first person that pops up. In the bio of Dark Pink Comics on Instagram, you're going to find all his artists and everybody working with the comic book as well. Go ahead and give those guys a follow too, because they are some of the talented artists out there right now, and they are putting out some great things from Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, you name it. They're working on it, as well as working on Dark Pink for Chris here. So with that, everybody, I want to send a special thank you to Chris once more time for joining us. I hope we can have you back on again, dude. It was a pleasure to have you on. And
absolutely.
I cannot wait to see what's coming up next for Dark Pink. You're literally hitting on my generation's love. Like everything about this comic book is perfect for my generation of people. And I'm hoping the generations that are after me will discover it as well and pick it up and go, damn, our parents were actually cool. But with that, everybody,
we were actually way cooler than them, but that's a whole nother story.
That's what's up. You know what? We know what's up. But with that, everybody, I want to say thank you again, Chris, for coming on and hanging out with us for a little bit. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to close this out. We'll go back and we'll carry on a little bit, and then we'll do our thing. All right.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it. This was great.
Appreciate you, man. We'll hit the outro. Don't go nowhere.
It's a trap!